The title of this sermon is Christian Coughs. No, not that kind. Imagine a man that has a cough. He grew up in a small town, knows his doctor well, he's a good golfing buddy. And he goes to see his doctor. The doctor runs a whole bunch of tests. And the doctor finds out the man has lung cancer. Now, the doctor doesn't want to tell his friend that. He knows his friend will be devastated. So instead, the doctor prescribes, now imagine this, he prescribes a very strong cough medicine. And he tells his friend, you'll feel better real soon. That man goes home, and for the first time in weeks, he sleeps that night fairly well. And over the next few days, his cough actually diminishes. What the doctor's done is he's treated the symptom and not the disease. Because meanwhile, the man's cancer is eating him alive. And he's about to die. Sometimes I think Christianity is a lot like that. We go to church and we're coughing, so to speak. We might give it a different name, but we're coughing. Maybe we feel guilty about something. Whatever, it doesn't matter. We hear a good sermon, we get all pumped up, and we're feeling better. But that's just like taking cough syrup, people. The cough comes back. You know, we hear a good sermon on Sunday, it encourages us, and by Wednesday we're feeling all guilty and depressed. And in my opinion, too many Christians are treating the cough when they should be treating their cancer. You know, cancer can come in many forms in a spiritual sense. You know, we can go to the Old Testament law and go with things like murder and blasphemy and sexual sins and just all kinds of things. I want to talk about one of those, and that's idol worship. In the Old Testament days, that was a big no-no. And of course, modern Christians have heard this before, probably, but we have different kinds of idols. I'm not going to talk about any of them. But I think idol worship is rampant in our society, within churches. Jesus said, where your treasure is, that's where your heart's going to be. An idol is anything we put in front of God. How do we identify what our cancer is? Well, we could look at our budget, show a lot. Where we spend our time, we can learn. What we're willing to sacrifice to achieve. What gets us emotionally excited? What we'd be willing to do to be accepted by others. Acceptance by others can be a real problem. Christians, let me tell you flat out, and I could have made this sermon a whole lot longer. In fact, I wrote it a whole lot longer. But all that was fluff. Here's the meat of it. If God is not in first place, you've got cancer. I'm not talking about what you say. You can tell me God's in first place. And maybe you can convince me. I'm not talking about how you act. You can pretend all you want when you go to church. That isn't true Christianity. I'm not even talking about how others perceive you. That isn't the sign of true Christianity. Do you know what true Christianity is? It's how God perceives you. Can you give an honest evaluation of yourself and how you think God sees you? Remember, He knows all the deepest, darkest truths. He knows what you're thinking and feeling every minute of every day. Try and be that honest with yourself. Because I'm asking you right now, are you coughing?